to one of the people we said we were going to be talking to today. I'm very excited to get her story. It's Patti Allbritton. She was born in 1973. She is one of the adult congenital heart defect patients here at Texas Children's, because when you start here as a child, it doesn't end because you become an adult. Hi, Patti. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Glad to be here.
So, Patti, take us through your journey. Were you born in Houston, or you were born somewhere else and you needed the help of Texas Children's here in Houston?
I was actually born in Houston.
Okay.
Pasadena to be specific.
Okay.
But I was born a blue baby, but
What does that
mean, a blue baby?
basically cyanotic.
Oh,
cyanotic.
Blue tint
Right.
to the skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my parents were not really made aware that I had a heart condition until I choked when I was about 3 months old.
Oh, my.
Whoa.
Wow.
And they were told to take me to the pediatrician, which they did. And the pediatrician referred me to Texas Children's. So at 5 months old, I had my first catheterization, and that's when
Heart catheterization.
Heart catheterization. And at that point in time, I was diagnosed with what was called pseudotruncus arteriosus.
Now, what does that mean?
We're going to say it 4 times twice and
layman's
get
Layman's
Sam and Kevin to
terms.
say
Sounds
it.
like a Harry Potter
terms,
thing.
Today, it's
Okay.
tetralogy with philo with pulmonary arteria.
Wow, that's and then in more layman terms, that's something with your heart and your lungs.
Heart and lungs.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So basically, I have had, a hole between the right and left ventricles.
Okay.
My aorta arched to the right.
Okay.
And then basically, I had collaterals that came off the back of the aorta
Whoa.
that carried the blood where it needed to go.
Oh, my.
And you were how many months old when they figured this out?
5 months old.
5
So for
months old.
5 months,
Wow.
could you're now? Listen, I think one of the biggest guilts that parents have is when their child was struggling and they didn't realize it. So when your parents got the news at 5 months, do you know from their story now that your mom just always knew you weren't comfortable or not breathing right or something, and she couldn't figure out what was wrong with you?
Yes. And she said I
Unbelievable.
struggled to eat.
Mhm.
It took me forever, like hours to eat.
Yeah.
And then I would finish and it would be time to feed me again.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And so
So at 5 months, you're diagnosed with that, and then what was the next step?
basically they were told, when I reached 20 pounds, that they, come back and maybe something could be done then.
Okay.
And so I came back every 6 months to a year. And as I came back, they kept telling my parents technology was not advanced enough because basically the only connection that my heart had or to the lungs was through the aorta
Okay.
and those collaterals. So they didn't really think technology was advanced enough.
Okay.
So for years and years and years, I actually was scheduled for open heart twice.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Both
And it
times,
didn't happen.
Both times didn't happen.
Why is that?
Again,
Just didn't have
feel like
technology.
Technology
was
wasn't
Wow.
Technology
And what
wasn't
year
there.
did the technology get?
When I was 48 years old.
When
You're
you were
kidding me.
48.
Oh
my gosh.
Whoa. Okay, hold on.
First of all,
when
you're
was the
48.
first?
I thought you were like 30.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. When was the first heart surgery scheduled? They're like, oh no, we don't have the
When I
technology.
was 18.
When you were 18.
And then the second
Wow.
time?
24.
Okay, so another 24 years before you could actually have it done. When in August of 2022, you had the surgery.
Yes.
And I see here it lasted over 14 hours. Obviously,
Oh
it was a
my.
success.
Yes.
Amazing. So what did they end up actually doing to repair whatever the issue was?
So, well, it took a lot of prayer for me to actually be able to accept the fact that they were going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'd been told no for so long.
Right.
Your whole life.
You're just
Yeah.
conditioned
And
to
I was
believe that
like,
this isn't going to happen.
Yes. And I was like, are you sure?
Are you sure it's going
And
to happen?
The doctors here had devised a plan. They had really gone through and looked at everything and devised a plan that they knew would work. And came to me and told me, yes, it is going to work.
And see, that's what's so
And-
amazing.
Yes.
When you check into Texas Children, you're a patient for life.
Yes.
You know, they are going to see it through. What are
I mean,
your
5 months you're diagnosed and you get surgery at 48?
That's
I know.
And by the way, I know we're talking here, but I put that challenge out there like 3 minutes ago. We got we already got the 10 miracle makers.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
Yay.
Let's
Houston,
try and get
let's
10
go for another
more.
one.
Yeah, so I'm greedy.
Let's try to get 10 more. Maybe we can double it.
51555 is the text number, KRVE in the text field to donate money to Texas Children's Hospital. That's what we're here for today, talking to Patti Allbritton. She is an adult congenital heart defect patient, for those just tuning in. She was born in September of 73. It wasn't until she was 5 months old they figured out something was up with her heart, her lungs, and they did not have the technology to get her the right surgery until August of 2022. And Patti,
maybe we get that 48. It could be. Doesn't have to be Miracle Makers. It could be
just
a
48
pledge.
$48 in honor.
Donations, yeah.
In your honor.
Is
In honor
your,
of Patti.
what is your earliest memory of being at Texas Children's? Like, can you remember back being a little girl?
I can. So probably the earliest I remember was having a catheterization at like 6 years old, and having to spend the night in the hospital.
And how different does this hospital look now than back then?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
The evolution
tremendously
of
different,
childcare, right?
Tremendously
From
different.
Star Wars characters to
Yes.
Dogs that
Dr.
come in
Bean
and
and
help
Chewbacca
comfort
thing.
you.
And it used to take all day to progress through the system, when you would come in to see the doctor.
Right.
Now it takes hours.
Yeah.
So, and this obviously wasn't even here. This
Right.
Yeah.
This tower, yeah.
This
Because
tower,
Texas
yes.
Children
I
has
remember,
always
I remember
been
when
a
they built the
force.
bridge. They built the bridge, I think, about 15 years ago.
Yeah, because Texas Children's has always been a force for its time in that year, but what it's grown to now compared to what it was,
It doesn't settle.
even
It's always
15 years ago,
like
right?
15 years from now. Imagine what it's gonna be like here.
So, Patti, what's the prognosis now? You had the surgery; it was successful. Are you one of the ones in the book that's like, okay, Patti Allbritton, she's the first one that blah blah blah? Like you wrote the book on some of this stuff because it took so long to get this kind of surgery down.
That's a good question. I would like to think so, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
I do know that I probably am maybe the first for Texas Children's doing this kind of surgery on someone of my age.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And how are you feeling? Like,
I'm feeling really good, and I will tell you, it was a life-changing surgery. There was things that I had never done. I couldn't walk 200 feet without being out of breath.
So you have more energy now.
I have more energy.
How about your parents? Because
how do they
They
feel?
are amazing.
to see their little baby,
They are
and now they had to wait
amazed.
48 years.
Yes, amazed.
Wow.
And
I bet they were crying.
So you
and
can do
happy.
things that you couldn't do before.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, so think about this. If you couldn't walk 200 feet, that means you couldn't even go to the mall for let's say holiday shopping. You're going to go to the mall. That's exhausting for you.
It was.
Forget going to Disney World,
I
walking
would-
25,000 steps.
I would have to sit and catch my breath
Yeah.
and then get up, continue to walk. So now I can walk around the block. I can walk a mile.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
So
It
we're
is
talking
amazing.
to a 48-year-old
That's so
patient
cool.
of Texas Children's Hospital, for those just tuning in, because we've said before, in case you missed this, you start as a child here. They don't just say, okay, you're 18 now. You're officially an adult. You're not our patient anymore. No. Patti Allbritton was diagnosed at 5 months old with something I can't pronounce, tetralogy of Fallot with pulmonary atresia. And at 48, they finally got the right kind of technology and plan to give her the surgery she needed.
And you can see the
she's
smile
a
on
great
your
success.
Yeah.
in your face and your eyes. It's beautiful to see what they did for you.
Yes.
Because
Life-
I'm sure
Almost
there were
giving
some
up
dark
hope.
days. Some dark days in those 48 years. You might have thought, "Is this ever going to happen for me?"
Yes.
And they made it happen.
They made it happen.
And you could feel
Amazing.
what's your experience with the people? I mean, you can feel the love.
Absolutely. This place is amazing. The people are amazing. The doctors are amazing. Not only are they wonderful doctors and nurses, they're amazing people. They're amazing
human beings.
friends,
Yeah.
human
Aw,
beings.
That's great.
I can't imagine ever going another place
Just like our
other than
listeners.
Texas Children's.
yeah.
Their listeners are really doing some great stuff, right, Kev?
Miracle workers like Carla, Patricia, Cindy, Jill,
Miracle makers.
Ariana, Jesse, Jeffrey, Erica, Crystal, Jennifer S. So many people are coming in. I can barely keep up. Let's put that
Yay!
challenge out there.